Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, July the 10th. Taking a look at the charts, we've got the SP 500 30-minute regular chart here on the left with our green trend analysis chart. We've got the daily chart on the right-hand side with our cycle analysis overlaid on the bottom there. Now, if we take a look at the charts, SP 500, you can see our cycle kind of prediction going forward here in the pink on the 30-minute chart. More or less, we're expecting continued choppiness in the market, and I'm hoping we're going to see the market pull back a little bit and go a little bit deeper. And we really want to see these previous pivot lows broken, and that should spike some panic selling in the market. We want to see this green indicator get up to this green line. We saw it over here as the market was trying to carve out a bottom earlier on the chart. And we're looking for a cycle low. More or less, we've got a bunch of little cycles on the intraday cycle time frame, but we do have longer term cycles where they oscillate back and forth. So we're looking and waiting for a low. We're looking for panic selling in the market and potential oversold territory so we can get long and potentially catch another play. Now the trend is up, so this market could just consolidate and it could start to rally at any point. We don't have a trend following position in play at the moment, but looking forward, we'll be looking to get into a trend following for longer term plays versus the short little pops that we've been playing where we see a quick pop in these moves and get out. We still want to keep a runner, but we just haven't got into one at this point. Looking at the daily chart, you can see we've been rallying, bull flag, rally, bull flag, rally, bull flag, and the market got a little overbought a few days ago. It's still working its way down. Again, perfect picture would be we start to see the daily chart cycles come down to the bottom, something like over here, and we see that fall in line with our 30-minute analysis as well, and we see panic selling on the chart, and then from there we could have an opportunity for the markets to go and push, go and breach this 3,000, poke to a nominal new high, and give us another good trade. Overall, I do feel as though the market's getting close to wanting to break to the downside. Hopefully we get another push up, but I think eventually we're going to have a pretty sharp correction, and we could have something very similar to what we saw back here in May, where the market had this continued run to the upside. I feel as though we're kind of in this phase right here. Eventually we're going to have a big crack and we're going to see some type of pullback. The question is how far, and are we going to go all the way back down to these significant pivot lows or just pull back down to this 2880 or somewhere into this range. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. We'll play the trends as they unfold and let the market kind of dictate which way we trade. Now if we take a look over at, let's take a quick look at the chart of bonds. Money's been rotating out of bonds the last 4 or 5 sessions. We saw them poke up to new highs. It looked like it was on the verge of breaking out, and it's rolled over. So money's flowing out of bonds. It's going back into equities, it seems. And the safe havens are continuing to, if we take a look at gold as well, gold's still floundering as well. And both of those are just kind of lingering on the verge of having a bigger breakdown. It looks and feels like gold wants to have a leg to the downside. It looks kind of hidden here, but there is a bear flag in here. We've got a pretty strong drop to the downside. We've got this little consolidation here. We are sandwiched between the 5-day moving average, the 20-day, but if this does extend, we're going to see a flush down to this 1360 area, which is a pretty significant level on the chart going back in time. It's a really significant breakout zone. This 1360, 1375, this will act as a pretty significant support zone, but when we break this previous pivot low here, that's going to flush out and a lot of longs and get them out of the market. We'll probably see some pretty big volatility, and we could be setting up for a new entry point in metals once we start to see that flush out happen. Pretty much across the board, same for silver. Silver's got a bearish formation. Looks like it could have another leg to the downside. And if we take a look over at the miners, GDX, GDXJ, they actually are performing a little better. Yesterday they performed very nicely, holding up. They're still in this bullish formation, but they're on this little pattern here. We can see a very strong drop at any point. It's still in the bullish phase, but it's in a consolidation pattern, and we just got to let the market do its thing, and we'll see how things go. The fact that miners outperformed metals yesterday is a sign that maybe metals are going to have a bounce today. We'll see how things unfold. We'll be looking for some new entries in the precious metals sector here over the next few days. Looking over at energies, Natural gas up 0.6%. It's had a nice pop and breakout from this little bottoming formation, this kind of oversold cycle cluster low here. We ended up getting in, hit our first target there, ended up getting stopped out. Our stop was a little tight, but it ended up popping, hitting our second target afterwards without us in the trade. And now it's continuing to hold up and starting to have a high momentum move. Looks like the next target here is going to be the 255 based on this little high momentum pattern. We could see this pop and really have a big move at any point here. Looking over at crude, 2.2% up this morning. We did play this bounce in crude. We got in, took some partial profits, took some more right at the peak here, and now it's back testing these highs, and it looks like we'll see how it goes. This is an inside bar day. Let's just take a look at this. Inside bars, pretty bearish. Got to be aware that all these inside bars here, this is a very bearish formation still at this point. They work its way up to the upper range, and then we can get one big red bar right back down, and it could continue to move down after that. So we'll see where things go today. This is obviously resistance. It's the top of this bar, and we could see sellers step back in. Overall, though, the trend, if you look at our trend analysis, it's green to the upside. So we are looking for oil to eventually try and move up to the 62 per barrel, but on a short-term basis, it has hit resistance, and we'll see how it holds up there. Last but not least, taking a look at the US dollar. This is the UUP ETF that somewhat mimics the US dollar. If we look at the daily chart, you can see here we've been in this kind of downward channel here. Market just kind of consolidating, and we've oscillated. We're starting to test these recent highs. It's a pretty significant move to the upside here. And if you look at our trend analysis chart, we've gone from red bars, which means we were in a downtrend. We've gone neutral, and now we've got green bars as of yesterday. So we could be kicking into a nice uptrend here. And the dollar, I talked about it yesterday in the video, we could see the dollar index work its way up to 99, which would bring this up into the 27 range, I think. Going forward. So there's a lot of potential upside still for the dollar, which means gold, silver miners could be under pressure. They could sell off or trade sideways still for a couple weeks. And I think a lot of people are expecting gold, silver to pop and take off pretty much any day, but usually it doesn't do what the masses are thinking. So we could very easily see the dollar really extend and continue to move here. It's got some pretty strong momentum. And if that happens again, metals under pressure for a little while. Anyways, that's it for this morning. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.